Welcome to Black Boss, where we highlight and celebrate entrepreneurship in the Black community. I'm your host, Michelle Forbes, and today I have with me owners of Bold Coffee Bar, located at 1623 Ridge Avenue in Philly, Miss Kelly and Delesa Claiborne. How are you guys?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Like I said, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
So how long has Bold been open?
We opened August 1st, 2020. So almost 5 months.
Yeah.
Nice. And how was I already told you guys that I think you popping because my friends frequent you guys so much, but how's the response been within this time of opening?
Great. Yeah. I mean, all we know is COVID. So when people ask us that, we don't really know what to say. But because we opened during COVID, that's all we know. So we just take it as it comes.
Yeah. So it's kind of you're not totally sure what your norm is at this point.
We don't even know what the normal is. We just know.
I guess COVID is normal for us.
Yeah.
but what you're already accomplishing over COVID, it projects well.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. So what made you guys open a coffee shop to begin with?
I guess I'll take this. So we weren't always happy with the product and or service that we were getting from other shops. And it didn't matter if it was like in Philadelphia or if we were like traveling or we were simply just going to like your normal like Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. So we always felt as though that, not necessarily saying that we could do it better, but we can, I guess, customize it to our liking without getting a lot of like, oh no, we don't want to do that, or someone looking at you like you're crazy, like, oh, why are they doing that, or coming in just like, why are they asking for that? Okay. So that's kind of how it kind of like developed into like, let's do it ourselves. Like, let's open up our shop. Let's allow people to customize whatever they want to customize when they want to customize it, and not sacrifice on taste and or like the actual like caffeine that we're giving people. It's okay to get to give people a little more caffeine as well as the sugar so they can still taste their coffee while still getting something that they will still enjoy.
Right. So both of you guys are coffee drinkers.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's very helpful. So, are you guys like, are you high customizers? I mean, when you went to other places to order coffee, did you guys both customize a lot?
No, we didn't necessarily customize a lot because it was always seen as, oh, these people are doing too much. Like, you kind of know what you like and how you like it. So
an example would be, okay, you walk into a shop, right? Let's say you want an iced coffee, right? And you want to get cream and sugar, but let's say you don't do dairy. So you want to have some sugar and some almond or some oat milk, right? There would be people who would charge us like an additional $1 or whatever, just for her to add a splash of almond milk in there. So that was one of the things, like, it's a splash. I'm not asking for you to pour ounces on ounces on ounces. And we're like, okay, well, we can't be the only people who are dissatisfied with it.
That way, right?
We can't be the only people who feel that way about that and other things. We can't be the only people that feel that way.
Yeah.
So those people who come to our shop are our tribe. Those are the people that I guess kind of relate to that.
Yeah.
We had a lady come in yesterday and she was like, can I have an iced latte? But I don't want a lot of milk, right? And I'm like, well, we don't actually put a lot of milk in our lattes because we want you to taste the coffee anyways.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's awesome because so many people they'll run into a service experience somewhere and they'll be like, this sucks, but they'll just keep going back and taking it. And because,
so we won't go back. We'll either go to a different location or just go to a different shop or altogether. Or that's normally how it would be. Now we pretty much go to our own shop.
Right. But I was gonna say, how different, that already makes you guys because so many people just complain, like, when something doesn't. They'll just complain, don't go to that shop, like don't, but to take it to a step where you decided to take that information and say, we're just going to do it ourselves. We're going to do it our way. That's pretty good.
it had like she said earlier, like it had to be people that were like us that wanted to be able to customize a beverage without it either costing an arm and a leg or getting something that it just wasn't what they wanted. Or it had to be people that were out there that just wanted a splash of like milk, barely changing the color, and was charged an extra like $1.50, like around that range.
By the way, we don't charge people
we
for,
don't.
for splashes of a non-dairy milk.
That's very nice. And that just made, I was gonna say that just made somebody really, really happy, because there's somebody out there who has that same bone to pick and they thought it was ridiculous. they paid their dollar this morning and it will be the last dollar they pay.
It's been a couple shops where I was just like, no, never. It's
never
like,
mind. I don't even want it
anymore. I'll just take it and just like never, like never going back.
Yeah, I hear that. So you two having experience in real estate and in management. Who was it, Lisa? You had the real estate experience, or was it Kelly?
Real estate, and
you were management. Okay. So what did the process of acquiring and managing look like in the beginning? And what were you guys able to learn through that process?
Well, to be honest with you, it was just a big, I'm not going to call it a shit show, but it wasn't
what it is, Kelly.
I wouldn't call it a shit show because we hired like a bunch of people to kind of like help us and everything. But I would call it that once COVID hit and it's like we really didn't know which direction to go. And I would just say, things cost way more than what you think that they will. Yeah. So it's just, you're like, in your head, you're like, I can easily do this. Let me just take the cost of the espresso machine and let me just take the cost of what I have to, put for rent. And you're like, okay, boop, boop, boop. And you don't think about, point A to Z. Like you don't think about all that because you don't know. We didn't even have a trash can for customers to throw their stuff away on the grand opening. We didn't think of that.
Oh man,
a lot of things that you don't think about, you overlook, or you just honestly pay attention to it. It's a lot of people think it's just as simple as, I'm gonna just buy a location. And then we're gonna put the stuff in. Like, no, you honestly have to think about like the price of the beans, like the price of the cups, like the sleeves, the straws, the amount of like sugar that someone is actually putting in, and making sure that you have enough. So just in case they say like, hey, can I get another packet of sugar? You have the option to give it to them. So when it comes to like the pastries, getting it like, because we get all of our pastries delivered every day. So cost, like you have to kind of take everything into consideration, and then
there's a standing order. So if we decide to close and we don't change it, we get charged for it or whatever, so it's just you have a lot on your plate to actually like think about, in addition to actually working physically.
Thankfully we both kind of have like management experience. I've run like stores where it was the little things that you have no other choice but to pay attention to, because you're the head of that particular store. And like with Bold Coffee Bar, it's just like it's the same thing. I always have to pay attention to inventory, making sure we're going to have that extra whatever it is that the customer wants,
take into account processing times, because sometimes our cups can take up to 6 weeks to come in. So I have to, so our logo cups, they have our logo on them, so right. So I'm like, okay. Look, I know it's going to take 6 weeks. How many cups do I think we're going to go through in 6 weeks? And now it's getting warm. We've never been open for spring. We don't know.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, then you have to make sure that you have pretty much more than enough to satisfy the actual demand without sacrificing anything. I'm like, we can't offer you any vanilla because we don't have it. We don't have it. You have no choice but to pay attention and kind of like take things into consideration in order for the actual future and what you think that you're going to do.
Right. Well, absolutely. And thank you for that, because I feel like one, answers like that are informative, and two, they can only be given by people who have been in the game. So, and to your point about, entrepreneurship, a lot of it does sometimes seem like, I opened a business, but so much of it is you don't know what you don't know. Like you just said, about the trash can and just not, and kind of having to figure things. You truly do not know.
We had a trash can behind the bar. We had
Yeah.
trash cans to go outside, but I didn't,
Right.
it wasn't like, oh, trash can for them to throw their cups away. Like I wasn't
Right.
thinking about that.
It was, I don't even think we had a trash can in the bathroom when we first opened.
No, we didn't have a trash can.
It was just one for us to use that was in like, like obviously behind the bar, but it's a lot of things that you don't necessarily think about. And then as soon as you kind of like have like that thought or that realization to come, you got to act quickly to be like, okay, well, we definitely need this. We can't run a shot with just one trash can.
Right.
It's a lot. It's a lot of things we throw away throughout the day, and one trash can will have us back and forth up the steps, constantly changing like the bags out.
Okay. Yeah. So it's still a period of figuring it out. Like you said, you've never seen a spring before. So figuring out what bold looks like in the springtime and the potential traffic.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, so our ice machine is very small. We don't have a lot of space, back there for us to have gotten a huge ice machine, and we wanted to go under the counter. So normally we run out of ice frequently. Like we have some spare ice, but we run out of ice frequently on Fridays and Saturdays. But today, on a weird, rainy-ish, humid day, I don't know what kind of day this is today, but we ran out of ice today.
Yeah. I can see on your faces it was
a Thursday rainy day. You don't know when they're going to come in because we've never experienced it before. We don't have any sales trends or anything like that to know.
Yeah, and that's when it comes to like kind of like thinking ahead, like, okay, let's get more ice, let's store it, in like a deep freezer, that way we have it on hand. Because although today was kind of like humid, it was definitely weird. So you would have thought initially that people, okay, well, we're going to have a lot of hot drinks today because maybe it
started off kind of cool in the morning.
Started off kind of cool, rainy, but then it actually turned out to be fairly nice, which prompted everyone to want cold brew. Yeah. So like you need to be able to kind of like think ahead, and then
you got to think about people asking for extra ice too. So
gotcha. So as I was, looking into you guys and everything, I found a quote from you guys. So one of the quotes on your website said, Bold Coffee Bar was born on the belief that it would be more than just a place to grab a coffee. It's a place to belong. What does this quote mean to you guys?
So I guess we can tackle this in two ways. So for me, it was, we didn't necessarily think about it with this particular space, but when we decide that we want to do another space, like we want it to be a place where you can come like after school, you can come get like a drink, you can come like wind down if you want to have like a meeting space. I obviously kind of like COVID's kind of juggled that a little bit. Like it's just like an overall like place, like just because the name is like Bold Coffee Bar, is you can get other things other than coffee. You can get specialty lattes, you can get like specialty like teas or like ice drinks and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be one thing that the people come for. We want it to be like a meeting space. So like, hey, let's all go out like a normal like Tuesday afternoon, like, oh, let's go out for a coffee date or something like that. And then them being welcome to come to our space at all times. So.
Just how they want to go meet up at Starbucks, I want them to pull up at Bold Coffee Bar and meet up. But the other way that I would explain it is,
and it's Black owned, so hear that, Black people. Sorry, I had to do that.
So you have people of different races, people of different genders and things like that or whatever. And I want everybody to feel comfortable, regardless of your race, your gender, or your religion or anything like that. We want everybody to feel comfortable. I don't want you to walk in and feel as though you're being judged based on any of those things, So like, I want you to feel like you belong walking inside of the door,
absolutely.
On our bathroom sign.
Like, you have it's basically a bunch of pictures of like gladiators, babies, and it says like we don't care, just watch
whatever, just watch it. Like we don't care, like we want you to enjoy and have a good time. Like we don't care. So
just stay COVID compliant.
We don't
I hear you. Dope. Okay. So for anyone who was, I guess, looking to open a storefront in the times that you guys have experienced being in this space, what advice could you give them about product and location?
I would say do it.
Okay.
Regardless, regardless of like, like your background, just do it. I would say it obviously depends on like what you're selling, but obviously
Right.
look for main locations like on like, like busy streets, something maybe right off like highways and things like that, that you can kind of like go for. It doesn't matter what, for me, it just doesn't matter what it actually is. Just
Yeah.
go for it. This has been the best decision that we've honestly made.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was about to say I saw that Lisa, it was you were the gung ho for it, but Kelly, you eventually left because you realized it was the bigger thing too.
Oh no.
Or was it the other way around?
No, it wasn't, but so we realized that we thought she was going to operate that every day by herself. And I was already unhappy, like doing the job that I was actually doing. I still do real estate, but it was something else that I was doing. So I wasn't happy in that. I was just like, forget it, And I was like, I quit that, and I was like, well, somebody has to be here.
Right.
Might as well be me as the other person.
This is where I'll be.
It was truly that part was truly a leap of faith on my part. It was a leap of faith because I was supposed to keep my income from that job, and coffee shop was supposed to produce income. So it was, because you don't know going in. So I was just like, forget it.
Got you. Yeah, understandable. So to you saying that, one of my questions was actually during your process of starting, and I guess that transition piece as well for you. Were you ever fearful it wouldn't work? And if so, how were you able to push through the fear to be where you are now?
So I was never really fearful that it wouldn't work. Of course, everybody has their days where, their mindset can be a little bit negative. Yeah. But I'm very spiritual, and I follow like the law of attraction and law of vibration very closely. Yeah. So it was never like a thought in my mind. I have other things that come up and creep in on me, but not that. For some reason, this was never a thought in my mind. Now, we might not be, having employees or whatever right away, but that was just never a thought in my mind. I don't know. It's been a ride.
Yeah, it's definitely been a ride.
But how can I ask someone else to do a job if I don't know how to do it myself? And I kind of haven't experienced everything, like myself. And we still have to be there, like creating the drinks, creating the menu, and kind of like being like the creative like force with making the drinks. So it's just, how can I ask somebody else to do it? Right. Myself, because I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I feel like when the time comes where, you guys are ready to hire somebody and it's the right person, that'll be a good transition for you guys. And I'm not sure if you
train them.
Yeah, right. I was about to say, you'll kind of get the kinks out. Yeah, kind of creating a system so that
how
you can
on grand opening could I have had an employee in there? Meanwhile, I'm like, oh shoot, I created this menu on here, right, on this register, but I've never actually worked every capability of the register, or I don't know how we're going to toast things, or what setting it should be on, or how much ice. I don't know. Sure, I'm doing this.
We're figuring it out. Yeah.
So
it was definitely a ride, and like kind of like piggybacking off of that, it was also like, how many jobs have you like worked in your life or something like that where your boss didn't know how to either properly explain it to you or tell you what to properly do,
or they don't know how to do your
job,
or
they don't know how to do your job. So for us, it was, let's get in here, let's figure it out, let's write everything down, let's jot it down in like a notebook, so that way it's something that we can reference, as well as when we finally do get employees. This is how you do it. This is how many pumps. If you're doing this type of latte, if the customer has this type of request, that way everything is kind of like covered, like all bases are
standard
covered.
operating procedures.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. And I feel like,
One
you know, I
thing
don't. Mhm.
we never want to show up as is a mess.
Yeah.
You know, like that's very important. Like we never, you ever walk into some place and you're just like, what is going on in here? And I just don't, I know when we get busy, some people are probably thinking that, but we're busy, you know? But if you're just walking in and there's nobody in there and you're just wondering what the heck is going on in here, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hear you.
Yeah.
We've had some times where it was pretty busy and it was just like, okay,
Yeah,
let's get this.
recently on Saturday, it was just like, okay,
let's get this together before we can kind of proceed or help the next customer. Like, let's get these customers out of the door, their drinks done properly without sacrificing any type of like quality, and then we can help the next customer. Because if we just keep taking orders, drinks building up in the bar, or like things are just building up in the back, everyone's looking at us like, okay, like what's going on?
Yeah. Man, this is such a unique experience. I was about to say, the fact that you guys get to work, it is. The fact that you guys, you know, open it but I think, I mean, I give you guys kudos for that, because I think that was the smartest way to have done it. Like, I think, you know, rolling up your own sleeves and really getting in there and understanding so that you can tell the next person what to do is and if ever, you know, I don't know if you guys are thinking about duplicating or, you know, open another bowl somewhere else, you got the system. So I'm about to say the system is in place, you repeat it, and I was about to say you guys have a better chance of duplicating, scaling up.
Asked about location. One thing I would say is I wish that we had parking. Now, it doesn't even have to be like a parking lot, but just like there was some street, like it's Ridge Avenue, so either they have to park or they don't come, or they're walking.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no really, it's not really much of an option to double park, because all these people are going to beep at you and it's going to be a crazy experience. So there are a couple people who do it, but most people won't stop, because they're like, it's Ridge Avenue. And it's like stopping on Broad, it's like, I mean, it's not the same as Broad Street, but it's like stopping on Broad Street and being like, I'm just you can't just sit there.
It's still not a place. It's you don't want to sit there. Yeah, I get that. Well, you guys must get a lot of foot traffic.
Though some people
they have to.
Here in the world,
my friends do not live around Ridge Avenue, and they're frequenting you. So clearly, people are figuring it out. I was gonna say, yeah, definitely. And I was gonna say, you know, I don't know if you guys ever thought about this as a benefit, but you know, with you guys working in there and people finding out I was doing this interview, a lot of people was like, I love them. Like, you get to interact with your customers. Like, it's making an impact. They're happy that they're talking to you, you know, and not just somebody who works there. So I'm not sure if you guys thought about that as a benefit, but it's definitely, you know, I view it as a benefit from what I've heard, because you guys have already left an impression on, you know, people I know. So
that's another thing that we kind of like wanted to like, just again, piggybacking off, like make sure that kind of like everyone belongs. So regardless if you walk through the door the first time, like we're going to ask you like, hey, like what's like what do you normally get? Like, you know, we customize drinks for them. We know most of our customers by name, or at least by face. Like we know like their dogs. Like we at this point, it's a lot of babies that we have. Pretty much like we've basically
babies or puppies, and now they're like almost one, or they're walking. Or, you know, they were a puppy when we met them, and now they're huge. So
we don't mind having a conversation with anyone that walks through the door.
Sometimes people probably want me to shut up.
Probably. But I like that though. Like, how many times again you walk into a shop, they just take your order and it's just like on
they're gonna say hi,
and it's not
nothing like nice. Now I'll be honest, if we're busy, sometimes we don't have time for the how's your day going and all that, unfortunately. But you know, we definitely try. And even when there's like a barista or someone else in there that isn't us, like we want them to be having conversations as well. Like just relate to the people, show them like you're a person and you're not just a robot, you know, like.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think people connect with that. And I think that is part of why people go into places, that familiarity. Like, oh, these are my folk. Just go
Yeah.
get some coffee.
Mhm.
Yeah, for
We,
sure.
we got a couple aunties, uncles,
Yeah,
sisters, brothers.
Yeah.
Duh.
We had, we had one of our regular customers the other day tell us, he's like, y'all like my sisters, man.
So, what do you guys feel have been your greatest wins with Bold Coffee thus far?
Creating it.
Yeah,
creating it.
I would say that's a huge one.
Our biggest wins were for me, it's create, because we do like we said, we do a lot of specialty beverages. Our menu pretty much changes either every month or every like 2 months. So seeing the actual like feedback that a lot of these lattes, that some might be a little crazy, but I'll see it, like, people actually like them. So we're doing all of this. We're tasting it. We're making sure that it tastes okay with each of the like the milks, like if it's steamed, if it's iced, and just getting that feedback. Oh, like, oh, let me get that. Like, oh, I want that. Or I heard somebody have that. Like, oh, this was like a really like one of the best Nutella lattes that we've ever had.
You can help somebody find something that they like and they didn't think they liked anything coffee. That's really good. So earlier today, we had a guy who was just like, I'll take almond milk because oat milk doesn't foam very nicely. And I'm like, actually, oat milk foams better than almond milk. And he was just like, he's like, oh, really? Okay, I'll try the oat milk instead. And he was like, I had this. He was like, this is good. I had it in California and the milk was just flat. I didn't taste any foam. I'm like, see, now I've opened his horizon to oat milk, you know? Like I had a guy who came in like with his friend and his girlfriend. They came to get coffee. He's just like, I don't drink no coffee. I don't want none. He came in next week and started getting lattes. And now he comes without the girlfriend. And yeah, he comes more than them.
Yeah, he
didn't drink coffee, you know, so.
And basically getting him to try, like someone who went from not drinking coffee at all, getting him to try new lattes and like, oh, well, I actually do like that. I don't like that, but I know for a fact that it's really and nice. He
told us he made a coffee, like a little coffee section at home in his kitchen. Like, dude, you didn't drink any coffee. Now you got a coffee bar in your house, and then you
guys like slowly turned him over. Like he is seriously a coffee person.
That's only probably because it's like no one ever really took the time to actually talk to him, figure out what he likes, let him try stuff, and then give suggestions like, okay, since you like this, you might also like this, or it might be better if you add this.
Like we frequently have samples of things people have never heard of, just so they can try it, because we currently have something it's a mushroom chai. And you hear that, you're like, that sounds weird. Because so there's something called a chaga mushroom, and it has a lot of health benefits or whatever. So they made this chaga chai, and they're like, what the heck is a chaga chai? But we have it on sample, whatever. We can give it out to them, and they go, it's good. I like it. You know, but they never would have tried it because they don't know what it is, and a lot of people are too afraid to ask. You know?
Yeah, gotcha. So what's the craziest drink order you guys have ever fulfilled? Does like anything stand out in your head about something someone ordered?
No, the green apple latte. Yeah. Somebody got a green apple latte.
Green apple latte.
That's not something you guys offered? They was like, hey, could
you make it? No, he ordered it online.
Yeah, he ordered it.
And we were like, is he sure? Like, should we call him and make sure that he wants green apple?
Yeah, and that was it.
That was
but
it.
He took it.
He said it was good too, but I'm just like, okay. Well, he never ordered it again. We actually ran out of the green apple syrup, so we couldn't actually offer it. So, but when he came back, I asked him, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, it was good." But he never actually ordered it again.
He didn't order it again.
People don't order it again. They generally don't think it's good.
I would have said,
Or if you give somebody a sample of something, they don't want to take another sip.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that good.
Or it wasn't for them.
Gotcha.
Everything is
yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it's a sample. So
yeah.
So So this is actually my last question for you guys. And thank you for joining me again. I appreciate it. Cause I ain't even recorded. I wish they could see y'all faces when I cut this camera on. Cause I was like, I'm glad they showed up. Shit, they look like they had better. Y'all working.
We did have a day.
It was a day, but regardless, I feel like these are the things that we kind of need to tackle and kind of like put it out there that you can kind of like go from an idea to an actual physical location. Like you can do this. You don't have to work for someone else your entire life. Like you can go out on a limb and do your own thing. We have a lot of like Temple students that come to us. It's like, hey, can we interview you guys? Like we have a class or something like that. And every single one, as long as like we have time or we can kind of like schedule a time for it that works well for the both of us. Yeah. It's just like, let's do it.
Dope. Yeah.
Like it's like we're all taught like in school, it's like we're all taught like, oh yeah, well, you're going to get an education, you're going to go to college, and you're going to work for someone else. Yeah. Like, so we love doing these interviews because it's kind of like we put our voice out there, and then two, it's like you can do it. Yeah. Especially during COVID. I feel like if anything, COVID has definitely taught a lot of people that they can do things that they didn't think they could, or
it taught them what they do and they don't like. And a lot of people, it taught them that they didn't like the job a lot.
So. Yeah. Gotcha. Well, funny enough, my last question was actually for anyone looking to get involved in entrepreneurship, what advice could you give them? So you kind of already started down that road. And also, I don't know if you guys have anything else on your heart to share, but if there's a question that I did not, ask you to allow you to say that, please, you absolutely. Because I have this platform, exactly what you guys said, because I too believe you do not have to work for somebody. I just feel passionately about that within, the Black community with our own economic, history and what we can be, especially in this time. And it's so inspiring to see so many Black people becoming entrepreneurs. Yep.
I always say, right, you don't have to let your race be a barrier. Other people are going to look at it however they're going to look at it, but you don't have to allow your race to be a barrier. You can say, I can't do this because I'm Black, but you shouldn't do that. They can say whatever they want, but it matters what you believe. So don't put barriers around yourself for no reason, like don't be like, I can't do this because I'm a woman, I'm a Black woman, I can't do it because I have kids and this and that or whatever. People who want to make things happen, they make it happen, So Agreed. Don't make things a barrier if they don't need to be.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, don't make things a barrier when they don't need to be. That's a good one. Thank you for that.
We get so many thoughts in our head. Sorry, I do mindset coaching, so I'm like a cricket. But don't make things a barrier when they don't need to be. That's all. Because I'll get deep into it. So.
I don't mind.
I have so many fears, like you said, fears are always coming up. Like, well, what if this, what if that, or whatever, But once you start making it happen, like some of those fears go away, and you get new fears, right? Like, so fear is actually a good sign a lot of the time, because it means it's something you really want because you actually care. Because if you didn't care, you wouldn't actually have that fear. Like, I don't even know an example, but if I wanted to start like a sneaker business, I wouldn't even care if it worked out or not, because I don't care about sneakers. If I'm passionate about it, you want to make it happen, you're probably getting all these fears that I don't have, right? But you might be more successful than me because you are passionate about it and you're going to do whatever it takes to make it work. But I might not, So
yeah, absolutely, for sure. Thank you for that, Kelly. I ain't gonna put you on the spot, Lisa. If your heart desires, only it. Only it. I ain't
it's okay. She hears this all day. She wishes I would shut up.
But I agree. I think that was a fantastic answer, and you're right. I think if you get too caught up in fear, you can make fear your entire life. And fear is not something to get caught in. It's just something to kind of pass through. I agree. I agree with you, in the sense that fear can be a sign, like you said, that you're on the right track and you really do care about what is taking place. Fear can expose passion. I would say that to what you said. So thank you for that. I think that's good advice for anybody. So thank you guys. I said I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I certainly appreciate it. I do have 2 things left. First thing being, please tell people where they can find you and how they can support you.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Fine, you're right.
So we are Bold Coffee Bar. We're located at 1623 Ridge Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. I'm throwing the zip code out there, 19130. Our website is boldcoffeebar.com. And then we have online ordering and things like that. Gift cards available, e-gift cards. And our Instagram is very popular. You can always see what we're up to. Even if you can't make it in, you can always share a post or send it to somebody who might like it. And that's Bold Coffee, at Bold Coffee Bar. One word.
Awesome. Thank you. And second thing, I call it Black Boss Tradition. I have all Black Boss participants say their name and say that they're a Black boss. So you can do that. That'd be great.
Sorry, I'm awkward. I'm Kelly, and I'm a Black boss.
I'm sorry, I talked over it. Say it again.
Oh God. All right, I'm Kelly and I'm a Black boss.
I'm Lisa and I'm also a Black boss.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out. I wish you nothing but the best. I love your transparency. I love your vulnerability. I love that you guys are a couple working together to make it happen. All those things are just. I'm sorry, say it again.
Save me.
I don't get involved in domestics.
That's what our customers tell us too.
Yeah,
time to go.
I don't get involved in that. But yeah, I think it's good for the community. I love, the impact that you guys are having on the community, and I hope you guys see it, because I hear it all the time. So I hope that you're hearing it as well, because people really are enjoying, your service. They're enjoying the products that you offer, and they're enjoying the people behind it. So that's a win. That's a win across the board.
Always. Yep.
Absolutely. So thank you guys so much again, and we'll continue to support. my friends will continue to frequent.
All right.
So thank you, ladies. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. No problem. Thank you so much to Kelly and Lisa Claiborne, the owners of Bold Coffee Bar. Bold Coffee Bar is popping. Like, if you're uptown, I mean, like, I'm from uptown. For anybody in Philly, I ain't gonna go too much more specific than that. You know what that means if you're from Philly. But I'm from uptown, and that's where Bold Coffee is. It's up there in the Ridge Avenue, and so many of my girlfriends are from uptown, and they are frequenting and supporting. They love Bold Coffee. I feel like I regularly have group texts waking up like, yo, y'all meeting at Bold Coffee? And I'm like 50 minutes away. So that's kind of far. But when I'm up that way, absolutely. So thank you guys so much for taking the time out to speak with me, to impart any advice, to impart any hardships or, vulnerabilities in opening business. Being an entrepreneur is being a problem solver. It is not one of those things that are just like, I'm open a business, it'll be all good. And you don't know what you don't know, which is why I love this show, because it shows you that even when you don't know what you don't know, you can still go forth and do it and problem solve your way through it and be able to teach others as well, and to be fulfilled within it. It's a journey. It's not called the entrepreneurial journey for no reason. So thank you so much. I hope you guys were able to get some motivation, inspiration, and information. And I don't remember how I said that the last time. It's either inspiration, motivation, or motivation, inspiration. I know information is last, but you can get some motivation, inspiration, and information. For more, to continue the celebration of Black entrepreneurship, head over to Instagram, BlackBoss_certified. Come join me in the party. Facebook, Black Boss Certified, same thing. And for full episodes of Black Boss, check out YouTube, Black Boss Certified. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned. I hope you guys continue to join me. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever is appropriate for the platform that you are currently on. And take care. Peace.